Incremental readings. And finally, about 1.5 year milestone, what I want to incorporate that's new from the year milestone is the current stats, especially the new cards per day. That I'm assuming, I never mentioned that. But let me start with something, is that I don't see the point. Before, when I was using Anki, what I did, one of the usually things I did, is a recap. Is, let me search on my collection. Is, this year, I can tell you how many phrasal verbs I learned from English, or how many Japanese expressions or kanji I memorized, or whatever. It was very easy to put a number of everything, right? Because I used templates, specific templates for everything, so it was extremely easy, and everything it was in the same database. What happens with SuperMemo is that I don't know how many words I learned from English or expressions. I don't know how many concepts with incremental reading about psychology, neuroscience, meta learning, and so on. I don't know. I can tell you more or less the quantity of images, text, concepts, and on the templates, the quantity of everything, right? Yeah, I have 4,700 items for incremental reading. Yeah, is that a lot? Is that more? Is that better? No, because this is, it doesn't say much information. It's not that relevant. Let me show you let me tell you one example, because I know where it is in my collection now. I read a book, rather incrementally, but not that incrementally, that it was about 200 and something pages long. I checked that because with SuperMemo you lose the track of the pagination, right? So I ended up reading that book, and I just did about 8 items. Oh, that's quite a few, right? Look at that, I will have only increased 8 items on that count. Yeah, but those items are super golden. The applicability and relevancy of those items are extremely high. And perhaps one example would be, I think it's there. Yeah, learning programming with sped repetition software from James. Perhaps I will do just about 8 items as well, or something like that. But this is extremely relevant, that will be applying to learn and to make more items and so on. So just the quantity, you would say, that is not much useful because it's just 20-something elements, not topics or items. Overall, 20-something is very little, right? And English will be the opposite. Let me go to meaning. Look at that. It's not been long since I started going harder on English. And look at that. 1,500 items already. And only on meaning, because I'm specifying if it's grammar or if it's pronunciation. Look at that, 200 more. Or if it's sentence, 200 and something more. So long story short, if I go to the stats, let me use the warrior layout. It's about 1.5 years. I didn't reach it, at least in this collection. Keep in mind, it's not the first day of SuperMemo with this collection. I have that many items. Let me look at the repetition count, or this rep count, 60,000. Yeah, but first, this doesn't represent this collection, because I did more than 20,000 repetitions with the English items, and when I merged it, this didn't update it. And I also did repetitions of items I deleted. So that's not that meaningful, it's just descriptive. Yeah, good to know that within using this collection, I did that many repetitions. Okay, good to know. Should I aim at 100,000 because it's a round number? Not at all. I don't care. That's why usually my stat is like this, my stat window. Because I only care about seeing this, the review. If I am the neuro queue, a subset review queue, or to drill and use it, or even the random, if I do the random review. And that's it, I don't care about anything else, at least when I'm using SuperMemo. That doesn't mean I should discard everything. That's not true. So you can look at all of these and make meaningful decisions. It's okay, let me look at priority, overload, or the efficiency. It's okay. Why it's decreasing recently? Yeah, looking that it's decreasing. Oh, why is that? And so on. Now it's very easy. That is because I was using a lot of items that were extremely easy. Look at look at the retention rate. It is abnormally high because of the English items. But since now I'm more knowledgeable how SuperMemo works, I take this into account. So it's as easy as selecting this incremental reading. Right click, process branch, and statistics. And I will get my real forgetting index. And look at that, 95.33%, so it's about average. I haven't improved my retention rate. It's just some other branches like language. You can see it's huge. There are so many items here, so many elements that are moving around the average, are affecting the average a lot, and so on. And here I have the pre-built. So let's look into that. Let me check what is my retention with the pre-built English collection. Look at that, 98.69. So it can make sense that the overall collection is between those two values, right? That is crazy. How many memorized items per day? This is crazy. It's unachievable. And this is related to what I want to say, new cards per day pattern. So let's go and dive into that. If I go Ctrl W, this is my workload. And look at that. Today I did just one item. I did that item when I was recording these videos. Yesterday, none. I didn't make any single item, same as January 4th. But look other days, I make almost 100. So you could see, you're so inconsistent, right? You would expect some degree of almost the same. If I go here, the average is 27. But how many days are close to the average? Yeah, 23, 32, and that's pretty much it. So most of the days are not representing the average. That is perhaps because some days I focus really hard on English, and doing English items is especially quick to do. And sometimes, let me say this, now I use SuperMemo every single day. So why this day in particular, January 4th, I haven't created any single item? You will be inclined to think, perhaps I haven't used SuperMemo at all. Let's find that out. January 4th. I use it for 2 hours, longer than 2 hours. How's that in 2 hours, I haven't created any single item? I don't know now I don't remember by heart. Perhaps it's because I focused on reading. I was in the mood of reading. And perhaps I didn't even finish my outstanding item queue. That is why this is, it's good to know. And look at that, some days I'm above 100. The only limitation is if I could plot all of these graphs, instead of collection-wise, to do it with browser, what is currently in the browser, or at least branch-wise, it will be better for me. Because I want to know the forgetting index, but taking out all of the English items. That is one of the reasons of having a standalone collection. But for me, it doesn't outweigh the benefit. Or the forgetting, or I don't know, retention. Is, what happened here? Why it's that low, and so on. Or here, the other day, 66. Or today. Why today it's 100%? This is very easy. That is because I only did one repetition, I think. Number of elements by interval, so good to know that most of the... Let me go just by topics. Look at the topics. Most of my topics already have 3-year interval. And so on, right? So it's good to have all of these. Check the stats time to time so you can make changes, especially when you introduce something new. Or you want now to try SuperMemo for procedural things, or for a new language, or for whatever that is in a different nature. So long story short is the metrics, the stats, it's just a consequence. They are just describing what you did. It's never a goal. It's, I want to achieve, obviously, you want to achieve 90-something% of retention rate, right? So if it's lowering, you will identify, let me look for the leeches I have in my collection, and why I have those leeches. It's because of are asemantic, I'm lacking previous knowledge, or it's just a formulation of that knowledge, and so on.